Hey everyone, welcome back to the range. My name is Matt, also known as the Ammo Nerd. We've got an ammunition review today to give you guys as much information as possible on a brand spanking new load from AAC ammunition. This is Soviet Arms 7.62 by 39mm, 123 grain full metal jacket, steel case. Let's show this guy on the table and talk about what we're going to do today. Now, in full transparency, the CEO of the holding company that owns AAC, Jamin McCullum, sent over a lot of this for me to review with no strings attached. For our 7.62 by 39 testing, we have a wide variety of barrel lengths from 10.5 inches all the way up to and including 20 inches. Now, a big thank you to Atlantic Firearms for giving me a deal on an SKS so that we have that complete barrel length for all of this testing and in the future as well. We have a Proclonal Pal Digital DLX. It's around 65 degrees outside today. After we've collected our velocity across those barrel lengths, we're looking for a general reliability test. This is a brand new offering. The box states 2375 feet per second. I'm assuming that's going to be out of a 20 inch. After that, we're going to check a practical accuracy. And we're also going to shoot this projectile against our clear ballistics gel, mainly because it doesn't have a bimetal jacket. So our jacket thickness could be thinner and we might get some fragmentation and some terminal effect out of this bullet. That is something good to note, that this bullet doesn't attract a magnet, so if you're shooting it at ranges that allow steel case ammunition but non-magnetic projectiles, this would pass that test. For our first gun, we're going to use our 10-inch M92 PAP. This is actually the first gun that I SBR'd. Now, we're also running the Garmin Zero C1 today as a comparison for a review. So my shots may be a little slower because this takes a little bit longer to analyze each shot versus our light screen chronograph down there. Sometimes it doesn't pick it up. And now for our 10.5 inch AR. This is our R.A.N.G.E from Brownells. A big thank you to them for sending this out. Works great for when I want to shoot our 7.62 by 39 suppressed. Velocity is still a little bit down there with this load, but I know AAC has said they are working on slowly ramping up the speed on this. I will ask them, and I'll annotate down here, if they are going off the SAMI spec or the CIP spec for this round, because the SAMI spec is actually a few thousand PSI lower max limit. As I mentioned, one of the advantages to our BRN is being able to attach a suppressor. So Deacon will be firing a few rounds with our YHM R9 on our BRN. Now on to our 16-inch. This is our PSA GF3. I've had this for quite some time. Got the JMac Customs RRD 4C up there. Very nice platform. I did a 3,000 plus round torture test on this a long time ago. Now on to our modernized AK. This is from M&M Industries. This is their M10X Z Gen 3. Very nice setup. I like that we have a solid rail all the way up top, adjustable gas, as well as concentric threads. Well, so I've had this happen a few times on this gun where the spent casing gets jammed in the operating rod area while another one loads, and that's what happens. I'm not sure if the ejector is not throwing it out of there all the way. Same failure there. And finally, our longest barrel length in 7.62x39. This is our Yugoslavian M59/66. A big thank you to Atlantic Firearms for helping me source this at a discount so that when we guys do armor testing or any of this ballistic testing, we've got that wide barrel length for all that complete data. Here is our Soviet Arms 123 grain full metal jacket at 100 yards, about 75 to 80 degrees outside today, using the M10X Z Gen 3 from M&M Industries. Got an 18 power first focal plane crimson trace scope on there in a lead sled, so we are dialed in. This is with our JK Armament rifle kit. First group 2.733 inches. We let it cool down a little bit, held it a little bit longer. 1.475 inches. That is very respectable for our 7.62x39. Typically, most of our imports have a bimetal jacket that is very, very tough. And for whatever reason, that doesn't lend itself to good accuracy, at least in my testing. Your mileage may vary, of course, but I'll take that over our standard groupings. All right, ladies and gents, time to sling this full metal jacket against some gel. I have a 6x6x16 clear ballistics gel block down there. It's been melted once. We shot it 3 times already with the black tip round, but we should be good to go just to see what kind of penetration depth we get out of this. Typically with our import 7.62x39, the jacket on those are bimetal and they're very thick, so they don't, fragment apart at all. and we're going to get lots of penetration depths out of that and not a lot of terminal effect. So unfortunately, this looks like the same kind of terminal performance that we see out of our other 7.62x39FMJ. We have a very, very long neck. Up front here is the 20-inch. So we don't get any terminal effect until at least the 10-inch. We've got that huge tumble in the 16 to 21-inch mark. And then all the way out to the 28.5 inches is our bullet. You can see the base is forward and it's starting to puke out some of that lead, but no fragmentation. Down here at the 25 3/4 is the 10.5 inch, and then the 16, it was at 28.5 plus inches of penetration. It left the block. If you were watching the B-roll camera, I saw it hit the ground, but I couldn't find it. And just like the 20-inch, our terminal effect ends at about the 21-inch mark and then starts at the 12-inch mark. So that's a little too late for personal protection, self-defense, in my opinion. And again, this is in clear gel. Actual organic gel may vary. Normally, I think it's in organic gel, you'll get more penetration than in clear gel. Here's a top-down shot of those two rounds. You can see that wound cavity is probably about 1.5 inches, maybe 2 inches. And then you can see that one leaves the block. And that's all she wrote, folks. I definitely take the Saber Blade black tip over this for personal protection. There are 2 recovered rounds. I looked in the grass and couldn't find the 16-inch, but this is very typical of our FMJs in 7.62x39. We start to smush the base over a little bit, and hey, look, my wife found the 16-inch. That's pretty much typical for what we see there. We get some of the lead to puke out. Well, everyone, it's time to close the book on this review. A big thank you to AAC for sending us this ammunition out slightly ahead of release so that we could get some solid numbers on it for you all to dig into this information. We had good velocity across all of our barrel lengths. We are a little shy of what we're seeing for our typical import 7.62x39, but we were right in line with our brass case loadings. If I were AAC and it's possible, I would bump those velocities up. Video edit. I turned in the data that I collected for the first lot of this Soviet Arms 123 grain full metal jacket to AAC PSA, and they sent me a replacement lot to see if we would have any more Pierce primers. And we didn't have any Pierce primers in the BRN or the Yugo or any of the other guns that we fired today. On this replacement lot, I did collect a randomized sample of 12 projectiles, their overall length, weight, powder charge, and bullet weight. I'll include that spreadsheet right here so you can see that variance or what little there is of it. I haven't seen too many reports of issues online with this ammo line. There has been one neck separation that I saw, and some people have complained that depending on the gun, like aftermarket Yugo SKS magazines, the overall length of our full metal jacket round may be slightly overspec. I fired, 20 plus rounds through my SKS, and those bullets fed in there just fine. As far as our accuracy results go, again, your mileage may vary. Anytime I bring 7.62x39 out, I tell myself I'm not going to shoot at 100 yards because I'll just be disappointed. And we had better than average accuracy with this particular load in our 16-inch today. As far as those gel results go, we didn't have any fragmentation or deformation of that bullet. We just had lots and lots of penetration and a couple of tumbles. With all that being said, it's time for me to get the heck out of here, but at the end of all my videos, I take a moment to thank all those who help make these possible, because there's a lot that goes into them. Number one is my family who comes out here and helps me shoot and get various chores done. Number two are my Patreon, Subscribe Star, and YouTube channel memberships. I have a little campsite link in the description below. Effectively, it's a landing page. It has the different affiliate links or commission-based tracking links that earn me a sales commission on things that cost you nothing. And what I do with that is I put it right back in the channel by either acquiring different barrel lengths so that we have a huge variety of barrels or ammunition or gel or anything else. We put it right back in the channel. Number 3 is Jamin and Josiah over at PSA/AAC. Again, in full transparency, sent me that ammunition to review with no strings attached. And of course, number 4 is you all for watching. Until next time, I'll catch you at the range.